this video, I want to compare cybersecurity and forex trading. Between the two, which one is easier to learn? I'm going to show you the roadmap to becoming a cybersecurity analyst and also the roadmap to becoming a financial market analyst. I will show you the skills you need to gain and the tools you need to master if you want to become a cybersecurity professional or maybe a professional forex trader. When you compare these two professionals, the cybersecurity analyst and the financial market analyst, you will notice that both of them carry certain analysis, and that is exactly why I love both. To dive into the world of cybersecurity and to become a cybersecurity professional, you don't really need a lot. So normally, my cybersecurity training, I have up to 10 courses that come together to form my cybersecurity course. However, I found out that most of the courses are not really necessary. I brought out the key skills and concepts and tools that are really important, the ones I know that you cannot do without, and these are just the exact things you need for you to succeed in cybersecurity. So let's go to number one: foundations of cybersecurity. Foundations of cybersecurity is just like introduction to cybersecurity. You learn how to define cybersecurity, then know about the history of cybersecurity, the terms and concepts associated with cybersecurity. Then you learn about the different cyber attacks that took place in the world that actually revolutionized the world of cybersecurity. You could start by learning about the Clipper virus, which is the first virus that came out in the 1970s. Then about the brain virus, the Morris worm, love letter attack of 2000, and then Anna Konikova attacks, and even the Equifax breach. These are some of the concepts you need to learn and understand everything about cybersecurity, just the theoretical part of cybersecurity. And I'd advise you, bro, do not waste so much time on the foundations of cybersecurity. Just go through it as fast as you can and then come into the main thing. The main thing here is you need to actually understand operating systems. Operating systems are very important, especially Linux operating system. Right? We already know that we have up to 5 or 6 different operating systems, ranging from Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Chrome operating system, Mac operating system, Android and iOS. These are various operating systems that we have. Now, a normal person who is computer literate already understands Windows operating system, so you might not need to learn about Windows already. Windows operating system uses graphical user interface, which you already know. But however, the new skill here, which I know might be challenging to so many people coming into cybersecurity, is understanding Linux operating system. This is the operating system that we usually use. It uses command line interface. I need to learn how to use this command, master these commands. They are very, very important. You cannot do without them. And then the distribution of Linux that we use in cybersecurity is called Kali Linux, right? This Kali Linux is an open source distribution of Linux operating system that actually has a lot of tools that we use for ethical hacking and penetration testing already embedded in them. This is Kali Linux. So you need to learn how to download and install Kali Linux. In fact, this is the place where I teach my students how to set up a lab for penetration testing, right, in their local machine using Metasploitable to this Kali Linux, and then your Windows operating system probably that will be acting as your host machine. So once you are done with learning this and mastering these command lines, you go straight to Python programming language. In fact, most people don't usually include Python programming language in their cybersecurity course, and I understand why. But the reason why I include it is that we used to automate many tasks in cybersecurity, and Python and Bash is very good for scripting and for automating tasks, right? That is why you have to learn Python. Like I said in my previous videos, Python is actually one of the programming languages that has the highest number of use cases. You can use Python in data analysis, web development, and also in cybersecurity. So tell us the training to Python in cybersecurity, how to use Python exactly in cybersecurity. Now, another skill or tool you need to learn, I don't know, should I call it a skill or a tool, is structured query language, SQL, right? This particular language here is actually used for querying databases. It is very important in cybersecurity for you to have hands-on training with structured query language, because if you go to an organization and website, most of the login details, username and password are all stored in database, and these databases are under attack all the time. So as a cybersecurity analyst, you need to understand how to use at least basic structured query language to also practice SQL injection and other attacks that involves SQL, right? So that is it. I mentioned after learning Linux operating system, you learn Python, then learn structured query language. Then from there, you can move into network and network security. The good thing about this is that You can start from anywhere. Once you are done with foundation, you can start from anywhere. And the fact that I say Python doesn't mean you should go into Python first. You could start with all these ones and learn them before going into Python programming language. You can learn all these courses independent of the other. It actually depends on you. Network and network security. Remember, I'm mentioning things that are very important, things you cannot do without. In fact, it doesn't make sense that you are into cyber security, especially when you want to go deep into penetration testing without understanding network and network security. The reason is because most attacks that occurs usually happens at a particular network level. So you need to understand network infrastructure and how network is being designed, right? How to design network infrastructure, network architecture is very important for you to know and understand as a cybersecurity. So these places, I think you should just focus mainly on learning about TCP and OSI model. You need to understand the TCP and OSI model, and then understand different protocols, different network protocols. You have up to more than 20 network protocols, right? But the most common ones and the most popular ones that are very important is TCP, IP, DNS, HTTPS, and HTTP. If you learn about network and network security, learn about ports and all these things, you need the knowledge, because you cannot be a defender when you don't understand network. Network are under attack all the time. So if you understand network infrastructure, you can be able to defend and protect this network. Then moving away from there, let me just jump into ATV. ATV, just access, threats and vulnerability, is a very important course that I don't really joke with. I rather schedule a short period of time to make sure that I understand the concept of access, threats and vulnerability and how they actually relate to each other. Threats here are our enemies, the threat actors. They are the cyber criminals, they are the hackers, the unethical hackers, right? And they are interested in our assets, right? Asset is anything that has value, anything that is of value to us in the organization. It could be digital assets, it could be logical assets, or even physical assets. So these cyber criminals are interested in these assets, and for them to gain access to these assets, they must see a vulnerability. There must be a loophole that they will exploit. So when you understand this concept, it will help you to actually have the hacker's mindset. And for you to be a defender of the web, you need to have the mindset of a hacker, so that I can be able to defend. That's why this course is actually very important. If not, I would say you should skip it, right, and move into the next one. But SIM2, Security Information and Event Management Tool, is also very important because, right, as a security analyst, you are actually analyzing network logs, you are analyzing network activities, you are analyzing every activity happening in the digital space of the organization. And so you use this SIM tool, especially Splunk. Splunk is the one that we use the most. I think it is open source and then free to use Splunk. So this Splunk now will have a dashboard through which you'll be able to monitor security events and manage security events in the organization. Very, very important. I cannot do without SIM tool. Learning SIM tool. Now, the Oga Patapata of them, or the final destination, is penetration testing. Most people that come into cyber security, their goal is to be a hacker, to be a penetration tester, to be ethical hacker. And then for you to be a good ethical hacker, tools are many, but I just brought out the few tools that I know are very, very necessary. There is a tool we call Nmap, Network Mapper, because one of the first aspect of penetration testing is usually recognizers. We carry out active and passive recognizers. We gather information about the organization's network or the target system network, and we use Nmap to be able to carry out this network mapping. Then we also use Bob Suite. We use Bob Suite for web vulnerability. It is very important to learn how to use Bob Suite. And the good thing is that if you are using Kali Linux, all these tools are already pre-installed inside Kali Linux. Just run sudo apt update and then sudo apt install, and start installing these tools and then start practicing with them. Practice is very, very important in cyber security. Now, another tool we also use in penetration testing is Hydra or John the Ripper. These are the tools we use for brute forcing or cracking password, right? Then Metasploit. Metasploit is another tool, very important. It is a framework that we use to launch exploitation. We use Metasploit to launch exploitation for exploiting any vulnerability that we discover. Use Metasploit. You must learn how to master Metasploit. They are all pre-stored inside your Kali Linux. Then Wireshark. Wireshark is there for analyzing network traffic. Right? We use Wireshark for network traffic analysis. That is why you are called a cyber security analyst. You use Wireshark to analyze. We analyze network logs, network traffic, and all these things, right? TCP dump is also very important. It is a command line based network sniffer. When we capture network traffic using TCP dump, we save it in a file called capture.pcap and then open it with Wireshark. Wireshark is actually a graphical user interface network analysis tool. We'll now use it to run detailed analysis on the network and then look for anomalies. So this is actually the roadmap to becoming a cybersecurity analyst. This is just the minimal requirement. When I say minimal requirement, it's very easy. Just start with foundations, go through Linux operating system, Python and Bash, social query language, network and network security, SIM tools, asset trace and vulnerability. And then with this, I guarantee you in 3 months, in 2 to 3 months under my mentorship at Western ICT Global, you are going to be a professional in this, and then you now delve yourself into practice. So in my next video, we're talking about the financial market analyst. I had to get started as a forex trader, the roadmap to becoming a forex trader. I will compare it to what I already did here in cybersecurity to know the one that is easier to get started with. Like always, my name is Digital Eselsa. You can always chat me up to get plugged in.